I clicked. Click. All right. I know we're actually technically live, but I'm going to wait until I see our face come up. Ooh, I need a pick. I got one, I think. Ah. There's our playing for the day.
Yes. For some reason my chat thing's not going. Anyway, hello there. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jonathan.
And this is OnlyFrets.
You're live in 3, 2, 1.
I feel like there was a slight delay on that, but as is the way.
You know what? There might have been, but here's the thing. I think I might be set up in private on accident. I think that's why my chat is not going. So go ahead and get it started, and I will try this again.
We're on like episode 6 now. You would think we'd be done with amateur hour here, but we're just
can't figure it out, bro.
We are just getting started. Well, anyway, my name is Jonathan from the Electric Flamingo channel. That's Sean from Sean Plays Guitar. Welcome to OnlyFrets, our supposed to be Wednesday show, but because regular life gets in the way and I actually have to pay bills, I had to do a work meeting, so I was not able to do that at our regularly scheduled time. But here we are. Let me get my mic adjusted. Here we are.
Here we are.
We're going to try to
just dropping a message here in the chat to let everybody know that I went private at first. So now we're live.
Sean was
luckily there's no concurrent viewers at the moment, so nobody caught my folly. Jonathan, what do you got there today, sir?
So this is my Epiphone Sheraton. I love this thing. It's the first hollow body, or semi-hollow body rather, that I've ever owned. Got a video coming out on this at some point in time. It keeps getting pushed. But there goes my phone, too. I'm going to answer it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the wall.
You're live on YouTube, by the way. Okay.
Hi, Mrs. Flamingo.
Sean says hi. Sean says hi. Sean says hi. But hey, you are literally on here right now. I will figure it out, okay? All right. Well, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye. Sorry about that. That'd be funny.
That is all right.
Continuing our unprofessionalism. But is YouTube professional? I don't know. Anyway, Epiphone Sheraton, video come out on it at some point. Yeah, it keeps getting pushed because things just keep happening. It's the way we roll. Sean Boy, looks like a telly to me, I think.
It's a bit of a telly.
It's
a telly-shaped object at the very least. This is a Fender made in Mexico. Nashville Telecaster being played through a very gracious gift that a dear friend gave me, the Sonicake Pocket Master. And I actually just unplugged my amp, so we're just straight into the Pocket Master into my Evo 4 and making noise with it. And this is also something I didn't pay for, which is
really. Where did you get it from, my friend?
Won it on the Robert Baker YouTube channel, the group, the members only part of it. So I was a channel member for quite a while. Had to tighten the belt at some point, but
you won a guitar and then you were Audi 3000.
What's that?
Said you won a guitar and then you were Audi 3000. Said I got what I needed out of it and I'm gone. No, I'm just kidding.
That's basically exactly what happened. No, it was awesome. I made one of my earlier YouTube videos on it, just thanking thanking Robert for, I mean, it was whatever. He spun the wheel and it landed on my name. It's like pretty cool, but
Right.
yeah, good good guitar. Can't complain. It's actually one of the only guitars I own that it has never been modded.
Wow.
Yeah.
I find that the made in Mexico Charvels, Fenders, all that, to me, really don't need to be modded and have been that way for quite some time. That's just my personal opinion. I know some people really like to take them and use them as like little, I'd say cheap but affordable, relatively mod platforms, but it is what it is. I just realized I never played this. On the off chance that I play, I'm going into my new X Mighty 60, which is a big amp. It's like a little combo amp. Then it goes into line out into my Sonic Cake Sonic IR pedal, which is just an IR loader pedal. I don't know what IR I'm running, but I'm hoping it's something akin to a Vox AC30 because that's what I have in here. A little bit of grid on there, some reverb, and then going out into my interface. But just because Sean had to mention his Pocket Master.
Yeah.
So there we go. Speaking of Robert Baker, that dude's on YouTube too, ain't he?
He does a little bit of YouTube.
He does a little bit of YouTube. Has for a little while. He's a great guy. And a favorite for a lot of people, mine included. I really like Robert Baker.
Yeah.
Seeing
I
as you
would
were
say
a
he
member.
might be one of the most genuine guitar YouTubers out there.
Yeah, he really seems that way. I know he doesn't come off as one of those people that's like, awesome on camera and then like a douche off camera. He seems like he's actually pretty genuine. So I like him a lot. Like his playing, like his lessons, just like what he does for the guitar community, all that kind of stuff. And he's got his own little interesting collection of guitars too. I've always been a fan of like his part of the reason why I actually have this one and why I like Les Paul so much, his KM, his Les Paul KM. I would kill for that thing. That's awesome.
That was a point of bonding for he and I, because his KM is also a 78, like my deluxe.
No way.
And when he was doing his late night live streams during the COVID times, if you will,
right?
I was like, hey, I have a 78, and he was like, oh, cool. And then like when I did my first ever like Instagram video, I did my first ever guitar Instagram video on my wife's IG account because I didn't have one, and it was for Robert Baker's like Led Zeppelin challenge thing or whatever,
right?
And I played that thing on it, and we sort of were like, yeah, dude, Norland era bros or whatever. So it was actually right before Norland era guitars got popular, or repopularized or whatever.
Right.
They were still pretty hated on back then. Anyway, I digress, sir. So today's topic is guitar YouTubers and some of our favorites. I think we both just touched on one, but do you have anybody that you're watching right now that is like up and coming, or maybe somebody who deserves a shout out that doesn't get enough love?
So I kind of fall in the same boat of a lot of YouTubers. At some point, when you start getting into actually making your own videos, you don't watch YouTube the same as you did before. As far as like up and coming people, obviously Carl from No Shred Zone, love watching his reviews.
Yes.
He's just really down to earth, real chill, no frills about his channel. It's, hey, here's this product, let's talk about it, gets into it. It's a great player, all that kind of stuff. And he's really come a long way. I'm really happy for his growth. I did check out the channel that you were sending the Dude Alert pedal to. Chug Nerd, I think is who that was.
Chug Nerd.
Very small
DJ
channel.
over at Chug Nerd.
Very small channel, but that dude is really cool too. Watched a couple of his videos. The last one I watched was the one where he was talking about his Strat that he got, his Squire Strat that he got at a Green Day concert. So that was, he said, he got to get
they
up on
pulled
stage
him up on stage, and and then they ended up giving him super cool story. DJ tells a nice story, and I think he kind of hit the ground running. Like his setup and the way that he films his videos is already like closer to your level than to mine.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a beginner at all. It almost seems like, how does this guy only have 100 subscribers? Because it's like, it's so high quality and the audio is good, and he's a great player and his edits are nice, and like you said, he's a good storyteller. So someone like that. As far as other smaller YouTubers, I don't really know if there are any other smaller ones that I can think of off the top of my head, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. I just don't.
No,
I generally just kind of watch the bigger guys when they come out with stuff, which that's not me doing my part. I know. Go ahead and tell me about it. But
well, please. I mean, I think you've done plenty, at least for my channel, as far as that goes. I mean, we all have our niche. Like, not everybody's great at just like promoting other channels. Not everybody you got to run your own first,
Right.
Like,
yeah. Because it can't just be constantly like, hey, here's this, but by the way, look at this guy and this guy and this guy. You can't do that because people lose interest at that point. But I mean, I always try to throw in recommendations where I can.
Yep.
But bigger YouTubers, I mean, Robert Baker, obviously watch him. Controversially, I really do like Rob Chapman's videos. I know people can shoot me down for that. I know he's been the topic of a lot of controversy, if I can talk today.
Yeah.
But like, Andertons, all that kind of stuff. Love all that. Love all the Andertons guys. And generally just, like I said, jump around some of the bigger, I like Spectre Sound, Glenn Fricker over there.
Oh, dude.
Love his stuff.
Glenn Fricker. Awesome.
Yeah. Just to name a few. If I go on, I'll go on all day. What about you, bud?
Oh yeah, no.
What do you like?
So I watch all of those that you just listed, 60 Cycle Hum and a lot of the bigger channels as well. There is a like growing list and a community that I've sort of been able to become a part of. So, actually one of them's here right now, BCG 5150 Guitars, does some really cool videos. I've just been catching up on his stuff. And actually this idea came from a live stream that I attended last night with Searching for Tone is another one. Brian over there is I believe he's an ex-firefighter, and he does really fun videos. He does a lot of live streaming, and he does a ton of giveaways to like his Patreon community and actually just to people who attend his live streams. Like, he is doing a lot to build a community around all of us and himself. So there's like, New York City firefighter. He's retired. Super cool guy. There's, this guy that films himself recording guitar tracks named the YOUTUIBE, and those are really fun. Like just watching somebody actually create music it can be fun to do as well. And YOUTUIBE's super nice guy. A lot TED Talks guitars, like there's this whole network down here around the 1,000 and below mark that's growing, and everybody's doing their part to sort of like lift each other up. It's a really positive environment to be involved in. So I've been hanging with those dudes quite a bit. OU812, and it's literally spelled OU81 and then the number 2. They're awesome. It's like a group of like 5 dudes that all live stream and just take turns shredding and talking gear and stuff. So a lot of like smaller channels are starting to like, what do they say? Like the rising tide lifts all boats. Like these guys we're all sharing subs. We're all like watching each other's videos, and it's really fun. And that gives you, in my opinion, it gives you a bit of a reprieve from like the Paul Davids, Rhett Scholl's, like the really polished channels, which are awesome, but it's not really like, you can't relate to their videos. They're up here on, what they have and at their disposal and stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was going to say, was like, it's, when you want to talk to someone, or when you want to watch somebody be like, yeah, here's this little tiny amp or whatever that, no one knows about. Like, this happened to Rhett Scholl, I think, a couple times. Here's this little thing that we don't know about, and then like on the used market, it blows up. A little YouTuber could make something like that, and it'd be like something that's really cool and you see it and it's genuine. But and I'm not knocking the, you know, because they're just doing what we're all doing. They're just making videos. They're hanging out. I mean, I know it's their job and they kind of whatever, but it is a different line, because a smaller YouTuber can make a piece of gear that's cool that maybe not a lot of people know about, and the price of it's not going to shoot up on Reverb the next day.
Right.
Someone like anyone over 100K subscribers, something like that, even, you know, smaller than that, they say something's cool. I mean, if I was huge, I'd say, hey, these Sheratons, they're really, really cool. They could potentially, you know, it could ruin the market. I mean, look at what happened with the, what was that? What was that?
Bad Monkey.
The Bad Monkey. Yeah. I mean, like people wanting $200 and $300 and $400 for that, like they're out of their freaking mind.
That was ridiculous, dude. It was a troll job. That's the one thing I do love, the bigger channels. I love JHS pedals. I love their channel. I love their vibe, their sarcasm.
Yeah.
So funny. It's not that like big channels aren't worth watching at all. Like they are absolutely 100% worth watching. They're super fun. You know, the 60 cycle hum premieres, I just love getting in the chat and mixing it up with that group. Oh, Pedal Playhouse is another one that is part of the, and Emily at Get Offset and Joan at Pedal Playhouse.
Yeah, Get Offset's cool.
Channels that I watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Get Offset's great. Emily's awesome. Just nice people that are fun to like interact with during the, they're like the premiere video crowd. So there's people that do like video premieres and they chat with you like while their video's running. And then there's like the live streaming crew. It's funny kind of how it's been sort of like sectioned off. Like Samurai Guitarist, like he never interacts like in a chat window with anybody, you know, but his videos are great.
Right.
So you just kind of watch these different channels to get different parts of what YouTube offers, I think, you know?
Yeah. No, I absolutely 100% agree. Because, I mean, to me, without the bigger guys, you don't have the smaller guys, because you don't have that echelon that you can reach where it's like, oh, he's got 1 million subscribers. I really like him. I like what he's doing. You know, it's like, you got to have those people to inspire those smaller people.
Yeah.
And you can see that the smaller people, when they climb up there, it's like, oh, I can do it too. And it keeps the new content and the next generation of, you know, content creators coming out. But yeah, I completely forgot about Get Offset, man. I follow her on TikTok too. I see where that's actually where I found out about her. I was like, oh, this is cool. So, but yeah, nice. Yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that.
Yeah, I really I feel like, okay, so like they all have their different use cases for me personally. So like I watch like Music Is Win, and Paul Davids and Robert even, or like, and then there's, or like Tom Bukovac, or, you know, these bigger channels, and I watch them as like more of a like an educational resource based agenda is kind of like what I'm attacking that at. Like I want to learn about, you know, I watch JHS or 60 cycle hum, or, you know, Emily's at Get Offset or Pedal Playhouse videos. I watch those for interaction in the comments. And then I watch all of the other people I listed in a way to support and grow a community that I feel like I'm actually a part of. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't feel like I'm on 60 cycle hum's level, or that I'm sitting across from a table having a beer with Ryan or Steve. I feel like I'm watching I'm consuming their content and they're interacting with me a bit. But when I, you know, watch a BCG 5150 video, or I watch a UB video, or I watch 2 Yards or Ted, when I leave a comment or I'm in the chat, that's a real conversation. They will respond to everything. They will heart every comment. Like, and then I do the same for them when they come watch my videos. And that feels more of like a friendly interaction, like a, you know, kind of like you and I do, you know, that's, and I don't feel like, obviously your channel's way bigger than mine, but you're just a super rad dude. So,
well, thank you.
You know, I ended up being able to befriend a cool guy who has an awesome YouTube channel, which I feel fortunate about, but
Hey,
not
I could say
because
the
of your
same.
YouTube channel, because you're cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I could say the same about
Yeah,
you
man.
most days. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
that's
but
right.
yeah, I mean, you make great points there. Like going to the point where you said like you try to heart all the comments and like you have that conversation where it's like you're sitting across from them versus you're just kind of the passerby like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Next subject kind of thing. I try to do that more because like I don't live stream aside from this, but I keep picking up my pick like I'm gonna play, but I'm not doing that. What was I saying? Oh, but like I do that with comments. I get a lot of comments most days, and I try to reply back to all of them. I try to avoid the hateful ones because I mean obviously you're gonna get a lot of hate and trolls and all that kind of stuff. Or if I just don't have anything nice to say, I just follow that rule. I don't have anything nice to say, so I'm not going to say it. Just unless I'm feeling particularly like cheeky that day. But
Feisty.
right, yeah. Or I'll take a screenshot of it and post it on Instagram, and the same two people like it all the time. I'm trying to,
I
call them
love
comedy's
Feisty
hard.
Flamingo, dude. That's so funny to me. It's
Hey,
always
there's
awesome.
that's actually not a bad title for like a viewer's comments.
Oh,
type
dude,
it
you
in.
should do a
That would be
comment
cool.
section video
Feisty
again.
Flamingo. That would be cool. Yeah, see, I
Feisty
started doing that
Flamingo.
as like an experiment way back, and I think I only did like 2 episodes of it or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's experimenting. I've been doing that a lot lately, trying to experiment with different angles and different types of videos and how I present them and editing and all that other kind of stuff. It's testing the waters. That's just what you got to do. But yeah, interaction with your viewers is like, because if you don't interact with them, I'm not necessarily saying they're never going to come back, but if you interact with them, that sticks with them more, especially the bigger you are. If you call them out personally or whatever, and oh, that's a good point or whatever, even something like that can stick with someone. Be like, wow, this guy that I look up to mentioned my name on his live stream or liked my comment or said I got a good point or whatever, so, but
Tom Bukovac, I feel like, has executed the comment section to a T. Like the way that he's responded to me maybe a couple of times in like say 2 years I've been a subscriber. But like he does respond to a few people every single time.
right.
He just is very honest. Like the whole channel is just based on an honest picture of what this actually is, which is like a guy who likes making YouTube videos, likes speaking his mind, getting his opinions out there, showing you some cool licks. And like he's this very like seasoned veteran of playing guitar, and he's an expert. And then every once in a while he interacts with people who say something nice or say something really mean and dumb, and he'll do a couple of each in every video. But nobody in that community writes a comment with the expectation that he's going to reply. Now, when I do a video, I am always going to. There is not a comment on any one of my videos that I have not replied to, because I don't get 585 comments every time I drop a video.
Right.
I have time for that, and so and it's important to me for people to, like getting back to that other point, like feel like they're a part of the community, which is it's just kind of important to me. I want people to come here and hang with me. I think that's kind of what I'm resting on, is that like I want the interaction. I'm looking for buddies, I'm looking for guitar bros. And so I think why you're doing it matters too. And that
absolutely.
sort of frames sort of the ethos of your channel. It builds itself over time,
Yeah. And I will say this, speaking of, while we're on this topic, I don't ever get people that comment on these streams, and I have neglected to realize that I had 2 people in my chat.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Who you got over there?
I gotta look because I can't even see.
Oh no,
Mark Spurgeon over there.
Mark,
Yeah. He says,
brother Mark.
what pay bills? Yes, unfortunately. I have to pay bills. We all know.
Oh yeah,
Most of my bills
He knew,
stemming from like
I made
buying
my
useless
post
crap.
on the community. I made that post on my community, and he knew that you had to work yesterday.
And GRB Aquatics. He says, I'm so sorry. I know I am terrible here. And Tom Bolkovac has become my favorite guitarist. So educational, trying to play along with him.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't.
Yeah.
I've heard his name before, but I've never actually like listened to him or watched him or done anything like that. But I have heard his name thrown around a couple of times, by some other. I can't tell you who I've heard it from, but I have heard that name before. And when you mentioned it, it kind of awoke a memory. I need to get this chat window.
He's
over here.
you know, he's played on over 1,000 recorded works of music,
Right.
in session work. And I have 2 of his albums. He made his own called. Actually, I have 3. Plexi Soul in stereo with Guthrie Trapp, and then another one called Trip the Witch, and they're it's fantastic music. And he's a cool dude, so I would definitely check out his channel. It's called 501 Chorus Echo, and he's just really cool dude. I got UC Mikhail in the chat. How you doing, brother? He has a cool channel. Speaking of small channels, he was one of the people that also won the Line 6 Pod Go from Henning Pauly's channel from HP42.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, he gave out 3 of them, and Yussi is one of the guys that won one, and I believe he lives in the Netherlands or something. But definitely check out his channel. It's JUSSI MIKAEL. But he makes great music. His song was Finland, right? He makes really good music.
Cool stuff. Got a lot of shout outs going on this one. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice to have a live chat going on and people actually in it today,
I know. We're getting there. It's almost like you stick with something and it ends up working out for you. Yeah. So like I said,
that's right.
I apologize for I got so lost in our super deep conversation. So anybody that comes up in the chat, I will try to get to you. I'm trying to actually still figure out how to pop it up over here, and it's not loading in OBS like it's supposed to. So more stuff to work out, but ain't that the way it goes?
Man. It is.
Yeah.
It's all a work in progress. One day we'll be pros and we'll still mess it up.
That was a noise.
Okay.
We did say we would play a little bit more.
Go ahead.
I said we did say we would play a little bit more. Made some promises. What are you holding there, buddy?
I'm holding my new pedal board that you sent me. I was seriously, when I opened the door, I saw that the package had been delivered, and I went and opened the door, and I looked down and I was like, what the F? And I had no idea what was in it. So, eagerly ran downstairs and flipped on the camera, and I was like, we're going to unbox this. And then I realized I wasn't recording audio the entire time I was talking. So I had to re-record, but it was too late. So I was just like, okay, we're going to scrap the unboxing video. But this is a super cool Donner DB P300 pedal board with a built-in power supply. Let's talk about challenges, but also opportunity. So this is a very large pedal board. It is still not big enough for the Pod Go and the Fender GTX 100 foot switch.
Wow.
It can fit one, but not both. So
I tried.
I was like, well, you also sent me the Pocket Master.
Yes.
And I also have too many pedals to fit on that board and don't need as many.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to have a second pedal board.
It's always nice.
So I'm pretty excited because I'm going to do a video where I build the Pocket Master onto that. And because that pedal board has a USB power supply, I can power the Pocket Master on there, so I never have to worry about it going dead.
Right.
For power.
Yeah.
So super legit, man. I really appreciate you sending that stuff over.
Yeah,
Super
no problem.
cool.
Yeah, like I said, I don't use a whole lot of pedals myself. And when I got that other pedal board, the Guitarists one, I just was like, you know what? He needs one. I kind of prefer this one for my use personally. So I was like, well, hey, why not? So hope you enjoyed it.
That's super cool.
And I got a separate power supply.
That's part of what we're talking about
Yeah.
with the community thing, which is nice. You know, there's people like me. I mean, I think, you know, like I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not getting anything, you know, and I got three little mouths to feed. So, you know, when your homie hooks you up, that's always a good feeling. So
yeah. Like I said,
I really appreciate it, man.
I try to give back where I can, or I try to, like, you know, obviously I'm not in the market of just like giving things away to everybody, you know, but I mean, things like, you know, obviously you're an exception. I know you know, cool guy, but, things that, like, if I get sent and it starts to kind of pile up, like, for example, a bunch of pedals, I had a ton of pedals, kind of all the same effects, stuff like that. I won't name any brands or anything, but maybe you watch the channel, you can figure it out. Great pedals. I just wasn't using them. So I literally put them on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I sold 12, 13, 14 pedals in a bundle for like $50. I was like, if you give me $50, you take them. You got them. And I had so many people jumping on it, like, can you do this today? Can you do it? And I'm like, yeah, but you've got like 20 people ahead of you. Cause I mean, stuff like that, or even like guitars. I've moved on from some of those Donner guitars just because I was literally running out of space, and put them on Facebook, like, you know, $50, come get it.
Right.
You know, so at the end of the day, because, you know, you always have people that'll be like, well, do you get paid to make the videos? And in my case, no, I don't. Sometimes I do. I'll have some people be like, hey, we'll give you X amount of money and you get to keep the product, which is always cool. But I think I'm to the point now, and this is probably shooting myself in the foot, if I'm being honest, where I'm just like, I'll take the product in exchange and that'll be the payment. Because I'm like, I could always sell it at the end of the day and get something out of it. I could sell it for $1. That's 100% profit. You know, that's just the way that I look at it. And I don't know. I don't recall having this conversation.
You need to get paid for your time sometimes, especially when you're doing, you know, reviews and companies are sending you gear as payment. At some point, realistically, you don't need all the gear.
Exactly.
And that is, I mean, that's, I think you did a giveaway recently where you did like 9 pedals or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's the 3 pedals that I got that's still going, the iTone pedals. I've got 3 pedals that I am giving away that, you know, they provided for that. But yeah, all you gotta do is enter. There's a link in the video description for all of those videos, and you just go there, put your email in. I've got, I think last time I checked, like almost 30 people. The videos weren't very popular. I put giveaway on them, but I learned from Carl. He did a couple of pedal giveaways back when his channel was a little bit smaller, and he always was like, they don't ever work. They really are not like drivers of traffic to your channel. And in a way that I look at it too, this is kind of fitting the challenges versus whatever. You can get these people to your channel. They'll subscribe as part of the thing to, you know, enter the contest, the
giveaway.
But whether they actually stick around once the contest is over and whether they continue to watch your stuff, that can actually hurt your channel. So
yeah,
to me, giveaways at a certain point in time can be beneficial. But I mean, if you got people jumping on board just for their chance to win something free, it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it can be a challenge to kind of balance that out and see if it's actually beneficial for your channel, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does. You know, and going back, BCG brought up a good point where he had said that, hold on, let me find it. He's said you know, on searching for tone, he said the giveaways are nice, but I dig the community more.
Yep.
And I think like what Brian did over there on his channel, he set up a welcoming like community where we talk about guitar and we don't really talk about much else. And everybody got really comfortable, and then the giveaways started once. Like, I just think he does the giveaways as a way of saying thank you to the people that he hangs out with every week, not like necessarily as a bait and switch situation.
Right.
So the way his are set up is not quite as inflammatory as like you know, some of the old, like the giveaway style that we used to see like 3, 4, 5 years ago, where it was like, you know, we're giving this away, and you'd have to join the channel. Everybody uses the King Sumo links now, which I think you did as well.
Yeah.
And that actually doesn't, like you said, it doesn't drive membership to your channel. Or even like how I won this from Robert Baker's channel. That was in the channel members only situation. And every once in a while, Robert still does a giveaway, but he really has stopped doing that as a way of generating subscriptions. And I just don't think, I don't think it's the way. I don't think we want things for free necessarily anymore. I think what we want is community and connection, and to feel like you're a part of something cool. You know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And that's something that I've toyed with the idea of too, is trying to get on that like buy me a coffee Patreon member, you know, YouTube member kind of bandwagon. But
yeah,
I don't know, you know, what really honestly holds me back. I don't know what to offer. Early access to videos, like I don't know if people are really interested in that. You know, I have a merch store that it's like I could give you, you know, a percentage off of whatever, but I mean, I've already got my margins so low where it's like I make $2 off of a shirt sale. And the last time I sold a shirt was when I think you bought one way back. That store's covered in dust, man. But yeah, it's, I don't know what to offer to anyone that pays that extra bit of money, like $1 a month, you know, like it's enticing to say like, yeah, give me $2 a month and you have all this, but it's like, what can I make worth your $2? And I don't know. It's that.
I don't either. Challenge. I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I know that like, you know, I better shout out 2 more channels before we end this. We got about 15 minutes, but I want to shout out Steve Cassidy guitar, great community over there. Jojo Fry rocks, she does great videos. And then the other one that I'm getting excited for, I have a new Tone Deep episode coming up with Alex over at Super Danger Studios, and because I want to pick the brain of the handsome guy who's good at guitar, can sing, can record himself doing all of these things on camera with like the highest quality output you could ever dream of, and create characters and storylines for his videos. Like, so I'm getting really pumped up for that interview. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
So yeah, a couple more shout outs there, but I think that you do YouTube for you, because you love guitars and pedals. And so I don't think that, you know, you're doing it in a way like music is win. Like Tyler Larson is the type of guy who was always looking for a way to make money from playing music.
Right.
Right. He
Nothing wrong
needed
with
that
that,
to
by
be
the
his
way.
career. That was his dream.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No, no shade at all. But that's the way his channel set up. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
That's what his channel has always felt like from early videos. Like he is here for the business, right? And that's cool. I think a lot of guys are more like me and you. I want to make videos that I would watch about things that I would play, you
Right.
know? And I think you do the same thing. And I think it's authentic. And I don't think that you necessarily need to have a Patreon or a Discord or anything like that for that to feel good for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's and again, and that's what I've said since the beginning. I don't know if I've ever really said it on camera. Maybe I have. I don't know. Like 320 videos deep now. But yeah, I make them for me. It's, you know, I make them for other people that maybe, you know, it's like, I know it's a lot of review based content, and I actually have a video, well, I guess a couple video ideas that I'm going to have where I'm going to talk about like kind of why I make the content that I make. Just because I feel like it's an interesting concept. I won't do any spoilers here, but, yeah, I mean, it goes back to the community driven thing where it's like, when you have that Patreon, you have the people that you can like seriously connect with. They're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm dedicated to your channel to some degree because I'm actually giving. And again, it's not about the money with me, but it's like, if you're willing to pay $1 even to just be like, yeah, I get that early access or whatever perk you're offering, that builds its own community there. And it's like, yeah, you know, you get to see who's serious, and then you get that sense of community where if you have like a members only live stream or something, it's going to be more personable, which that's something that I like because outside of YouTube and outside of talking with you, I can't talk to anybody else about this kind of stuff for lengths of time. And I could talk about it all day long because it's just something that I'm passionate about and I really like. Let me make sure my camera doesn't go out there, but yeah, that's something that YouTube allows me to do. And I'm always looking for that next kind of like communal effort that I can put into it. And, the live stream thing is obviously a big step because I always kind of wanted to explore that live stream thing, but I never really knew how to approach it. A little bit of nerves there. Like, are people going to actually watch it? But it's the same thing as starting YouTube. You got to jump into it.
Yeah.
And you'll build your community eventually. No one jumps into it. Well, the 99.9999% of people that jump into it don't start at the top. So,
no.
But
unless you're DJ from Chug Nerd, in which case you're making like pro quality videos right off the jump.
Yeah.
But I was doing them on my phone, and then I had a crappy webcam, and then I got a less crappy webcam. And now I'm actually comfortable. Like if I never get a DSLR camera, I'll still be happy with the quality I'm able to get from my videos. I kind of like the way it looks. It's very middle class, if you will. And that just really suits my attitude and my vibe for what I want to do. And I think I'm with you. I don't think I'll ever, want to like do a Patreon or like try to pursue this as a career on YouTube. I think that I like the community, and starting the live pod was always kind of
it's a
shot
daunting
in the
task.
dark, but like you said, it'll be what it's going to be one way or the other. The biggest thing is that, I get to hang out with a bro who likes guitar and nerding out about it.
Right.
More than, and so that's why I think it's great that there is a huge contingent of people in the sub 1,000 category that are making awesome videos and interacting with each other in a really genuine way, and people are supporting each other, and it's more about community than it is about trying to hit 2 million subs,
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Spurgeon over I think that's how you say that. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. He says, "They haven't killed me yet. Whoop whoop." His first comment was that he's at the doctor, so he's going to be lurking around. Glad to see that they haven't killed you yet, because then you wouldn't be able to stay tuned.
Yeah, he's over on my channel now saying hi to the peeps that are over here too.
Well, thank you very much.
He's all over the place, man.
I see that.
Mark's a legend.
I see that. Well, thank you very much.
One of these days, I'll get some pictures loaded up that he sent me of his guitar collection. We'll rate or roast his guitar rig.
Ooh, that would be that'd be a really fun thing to do, like a rate or roast thing.
We could start doing that with like one subscriber per week. We could do one from your channel and one from mine.
Yeah,
and we could add that as like the final segment. People like that, and plus it gives a shout out to dudes that have awesome gear out there,
or not so awesome gear,
or not so awesome gear.
Send your cool thing, and they'll send some duct tape wrapped up amp and guitar, and it's like, I've had this since I was 12. You should have got rid of it at 13, bro. But yeah, no, it's so.
Yeah, man.
This one's been a bit of a...
Well, what do you got coming up video-wise there, Jonathan?
So, I am just knocking this thing all day. I'm going to move that down there like that. So, video-wise, I've got something very interesting coming up. I don't know if I could technically talk about it. I will say this. So, I got a guitar that... Surprise, surprise. When I got it, had not been released yet. It has recently been released, but the video will not be up until the 22nd. So stay tuned for that. It's very interesting. Okay. Don't want to miss that. What else do I got? I've got some more Donner stuff coming up, including, but not limited to, an electric drum kit. That's an interesting one. So
a what one?
What's that?
What was that last part? An electric what?
Drum kit.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, we had this idea we were throwing around for a little while about because I had a drum kit, like an actual drum kit, a little while back that I found at a yard sale for the whopping price of $75. But I never played it because it was a actual drum kit, had the cymbals and everything, was very, very loud. So I toyed with the idea with Donner. They had brought it up a while back, and then they were unable to send it. And I said, well, I'm not really a drummer, but I think it would be an interesting concept to be like the guitarist learning to play drums, like a beginner's, thing, and it can showcase if your product's any good, which, with it being Donner, it probably is, how a beginner could get along with it, and it's, kind of thing like that. So I don't have it yet, so I don't know if I'm spoiling much, but stay tuned for that if you'd like to do that. A couple other interesting kind of backlogged things, guitar-wise, some reviews. I'll have some talking point videos that should be coming up, like I mentioned earlier, about kind of why I make the content that I do and just touching on some other specific points. And I think, looking as I look around the room, I got another guitar from a brand that you wouldn't expect that makes a guitar. That'll be coming out, I think, at the beginning of May.
Nice.
Yeah. Lots of stuff. Still got a lot of stuff. Very busy. But what you got anything aside from the Tone Deep and all that kind of stuff?
So I have the Tone Deep. I'll be filming that next week. So probably 2 weeks out on the edit and everything for that. Getting closer on my laundry room. So we're inching closer to my kit build, which is exciting. I cannot wait. I'm going to do the pedal board video from using your generous gifts that you gave me. So that probably next week at some point I'll make that one.
Okay.
And then I filmed All My Guitars episode that I'll be putting out probably tomorrow, and it's an acoustic version.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. And just kind of chipping away at these. And then there's one other thing. My overdrive preamp pedal from JHS is on its way back to me and will be here tomorrow, I believe.
Cool.
It got repaired, and I'm going to do a customer service review video of my experience and wrap that in with a pedal demo of the overdrive preamp, because I've been meaning to demo that pedal, but it broke during one of my Friday night lives.
Yeah, I remember you saying
And it
something
just
about that.
stopped working. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's on its way back from the crew over at JHS. And so I'm going to kind of roll those two things together, make a demo video and review my experience with that. So,
you know, that's actually funny that you say that, because that's something that I can't remember if the video is already out or not, that I actually talked about in one of my videos. I put a little segment about the customer service experience, because I've gotten a lot of comments about, like, on sponsored stuff where it's like, yeah, you know, the products are really cool and stuff, but the customer service is terrible. And I see that a lot. And I don't want to call out a brand name. I really don't. So I'm not going to. But just know that obviously that is a thing, that they make really good stuff, which I do wholeheartedly agree that they make good stuff. But I've seen time and time again where their customer service is not up to snuff. And I've not talked about it with them specifically, but there was one that I talked about where I said, you know, the customer service on my end was fine. Now, that's a weird position to be in, because it goes hand in hand with with the review. You know, like, you're saying it's good. You could have got, you know, the good one. They could have sent you the good one because you're looking at it. You know, that old nugget of wisdom that people throw out there.
Yeah, they only send you the best stuff because you're going to review it.
It's not the case. Trust me. I've had plenty of stinkers from various different brands. But yeah, and I know that the customer service experience can be better because it's someone that they're going to be getting something out of, you know. But it's like, you're still getting something out of a customer, so maybe you should, you know. But generally speaking, too, you're talking to, like, when you're in a position like I am, you're talking to, like, influencer relations, like, you're talking to social media managers and like content creation or whatever, people that deal with us as YouTubers, not as customers per se, but as YouTubers. So it's hard. It's a rock and a hard place to say, like, yeah, the customer service on mine was great. What are you talking about? Because I know that they're not talking to the same people. So, but
yeah.
You know, so that is and I say that just like I said, that's a nice touch for you to say that, is to give your experience as a customer. You know, so
yeah,
we all know JHS is. I think their customer service is okay.
Had my buddy 2 Yards just popped in. He makes great music videos. I just watched one that he did the other day. Sings and plays guitar, and he's another you know, smaller YouTube channel that I subscribe to. That's awesome. 2 Yards, thanks for coming in. I was just going to say, with customer service, I kind of treat it like I treat a comments section, you know, like how you just were not willing to, like, say the name. It's kind of like, you're going to watch a video, not like it, and expend the energy to hit a thumbs down and leave a crappy comment on your way out, to never watching another video again. You know, I think this just happened on 60 Cycle Hum. Like, they did a video about the T word on their channel, and I didn't watch it because I love their channel and I don't want to sit there and argue in the chat or get mad or any of that stuff. It's just like, that one's not for me.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, if their channel becomes about that, then I'll probably leave and I probably won't say anything on my way out the door.
There's no need.
Because who cares? I'm just one person. Like, I'm not self-important enough to think that they need to hear my opinion of what they've done before I leave their subscribership, you know?
Right.
It's just kind of like, if I got bad customer service, I wouldn't make a video about it. You know, like, I wouldn't make a video about how terrible the customer service was. I'd probably just never buy from that company again. And that would be the end of that. But I certainly would.
Glenn Fricker has entered the chat. I'm just kidding.
What's that?
I said, oh, look, Glenn Fricker has entered the chat. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, there is a market for those videos. I'm not knocking people who do make them. That's not my way. You know, I just, like, yeah, Glenn, I like to watch his videos when he gets mad. It's super funny.
Yeah, that's
But
kind of his whole thing,
I
though, you know.
and part of it too is he doesn't really do that to like a boutique smaller builder just getting started, or I mean, there's this guitar builder called Tease Guitars that makes
Yeah.
affordable guitars that are really well reviewed.
Yep.
And like Glenn wouldn't tear apart Tease guitars. He's doing it to Gibson or Thomann, which is a big company.
Yep.
They can take the hit on their Harley Bentons,
Yep.
and like, he also does glowing reviews too. So I think at least when it comes to Glenn and his channel, he's even. He responds exactly the same positive as he does negative. I think he's very fair. But I'm not in my opinion, doesn't matter as much. I haven't done as much in a musical career as Glenn has. And
Right.
I just feel like if I don't like a thing, like I'm just going to not buy it anymore. And I won't make a video trashing it. Like, I probably don't love that triple threat pedal as much as I thought I would. But I do like it. And it's not like I'm going to sit there and be like, I spent good money on this. And it's like, no, like it works. It does everything as advertised.
Right.
And what would the point be?
Right.
I'm going to take down Donner. Like, I'm not a crusader, I like to play guitar. So that's kind of how I feel about that.
Right. And I mean, there's a difference between just slandering a company's name just for content versus you getting on there and saying, hey, I'm a customer, I'm not really happy, here's XYZ reason why I'm not happy, and just pointing it out. Like there's
right.
a benefit to it. I mean, obviously, like with Glenn Fricker, he does it kind of for the comedic value, and he's got a good balance of, like you said, where it's glowing reviews and then where he's over there destroying pieces of gear with a sledgehammer in his driveway. But there's that fine balance. But even with me, like, as much as I've worked with Donner and as much as I do wholeheartedly outside of everything really like Donner's products for what they are, I've had, I think, maybe one instance that I can think of off the top of my head where I didn't really care for the product. And it was with one of their guitars. It was one of their lower end guitars that I was like, it really was, it could have been better. But at the same time, I was like, but what am I paying for? And that's something that I always try to remember, because a lot of the things that I review are like super budget friendly things. So it's hard for me to talk down on, Joyo for giving me something that's $30. It's like, yeah, it's $30. If it works and it makes a noise, if it's not the greatest thing in the world, it's $30. But on the flip side, like you said, if I bought something from Thomann, Harley Benton, yeah, they're affordable, but that's a massive company. Like, you would think at that point they could afford to put a little bit of extra money into QC to not make the product, super expensive, but make it a viable product is my thing. So I get both sides of the coin, but yeah, or like Gibson, people obviously have ragged on Gibson for decades at this point, but
listen, every Gibson I've ever played has been nice.
Just about everyone I've played has been nice too, but I mean, I get where people, looking at you in 2015.
I also have never spent $3,000 on a Gibson guitar. Yeah. So I've never been in a place to be overly critical of any guitar that I've ever owned.
Or amp or pedal. Like, yeah, it's, same kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, the triple thread example is like one of those things where it's kind of like, I didn't know what I was expecting. It just wasn't what I was expecting. But the more I played with it, the more I've been like, this is how I want to use it. It's going to go on that pedal board. And I think that probably part of it's me, in which case I would approach that with the proper amount of humility too. Like, maybe I'm not using this right, and I'm going to keep playing with it until I figure out something about it that, where it hits in my signal chain or, on a particular song or something like that. So, the other thing I got before we go, and we can wrap up, but
Yep.
I bought some. Have you ever heard of Circles drums? They do like drum loops and digital drum kits and stuff like that.
No. Circles, no.
Okay.
It's not ringing a bell.
So they make really cool sounding, like lo-fi gritty drum. I mean, they make them hi-fi too, but what I like that they make is these like lo-fi gritty drum loops and stuff that you can just drop into whatever your interface is.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna start. I might, even on my live stream on Friday night, I might try to record a track for a little bit of the live stream using some of those drum loops.
Yeah.
Circles drum loops are freaking great. They're really, really good. And it's some of my favorite like digital drum stuff I've found.
Do they have samples?
Mm-hmm.
They do? Okay. Because
They
that's
do.
something.
Their whole kit comes with samples and loops and fills.
Because see, now that you said lo-fi drums, and I present myself as a metalhead and a rock guy, but I love like lo-fi hip hop and stuff like that. Like it is just creme de la creme stuff for me. But that's cool to know because depending on how the things go with that drum kit that I'm getting, I'm about to check them out.
Dude, can you load samples onto the Donner drum kits so that it sounds like that?
That's what I'm saying. If you can, I'm assuming you can. Seeing as how some of this other gear is like, like the Pocket Master, as affordable as it is, and it has the capabilities that it has. I can only imagine that the drum kit you can load your own samples and change everything. Now, again, it is supposed to be like a beginner thing, but I don't know. The beginners,
Dude,
they have it so good
kit
nowadays.
I am gonna look into that.
I was gonna say, because I know you got yours,
and see if I can put, because these are seriously sick, dude. Like,
yeah.
I'll send you. You know what? They do have a free, if you want to like test them. They have like a free bundle that they give to anybody, free samples and loops.
Oh, nice.
And it has a bunch of kicks and snares, one shots, and then it has the loops in it, and they are really good. So I would highly recommend. Anyway, that was my last little shill there.
That works.
But,
no shame in it.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm looking forward to the videos you got coming up.
Same
like
for
it's gonna
you.
be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your stuff. I hit that bell notification.
Yeah. If you're a small channel and you were watching this today, keep going. Don't stop. We're here. We'll be watching.
Absolutely.
And if you're a big channel and we shouted you out, congratulations for the 8 millionth time.
F you. I'm just kidding. We're clean here. I am an adult. I'm aware. I can say the naughty toddy word, but we're still playing around with monetization.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Is we're not in it for money, but we're not gonna turn
right. I'm not
down.
gonna sit and be like, I want that ad revenue. What are you talking about? But
yeah.
Anyway.
No.
Anyway.
All right, bro. Well, enjoy the rest of your week.
I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna try. It's Thursday, not Wednesday, so Friday Eve. Oh no, I'm getting a corporate speak. I'm not doing that crap.
Friday Junior, baby.
Yeah, Friday. I like Friday Junior too. That's cool. Alrighty.
Thanks to everybody that showed up and hung out with us and contributed to the conversation.
Yeah. There you go. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep, that's right. Have a good week, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.